Thank you, and welcome to yet another of ANTOR's podcasts, celebrating 70 years of the association and meeting with our very valuable and important members one by one to find out how they're getting on in this 70th anniversary year. Today, I'm delighted to be with Iyad Rasbey, who is the Executive Director of the Ras Al Khaimah Tourism Development Authority. Welcome, Iyad.
Thank you, Alison, for having me today.
That's a pleasure. And just for the audience's knowledge, you're actually based in Ras Al Khaimah, so you're talking to us directly from your wonderful destination. And it's looking as sunny as it is here today.
Weather is beautiful, sunny. I mean, we're enjoying the weather down here and looking forward to receiving more tourists out of the UK.
Absolutely. And you're completely open to tourism now. So is everything ready for the UK market?
Yeah. I mean, Ras Al Khaimah was quite ready for the UK market. I mean, with all the certifications that we've managed to secure as safe to travel to from Bureau Veritas and World Travel and Tourism Council. All our hotels are certified by both certifiers, which means that Ras Al Khaimah is ready and safe to travel to.
Fantastic. And remind me, how long is what is the flight? How do you get to Ras Al Khaimah, and what's the flight?
Well, look, I mean, we're 45 minutes away from Dubai Airport, so most of our UK travelers or tourists arrive via Dubai Airport. We do not have a direct flight to Ras Al Khaimah International Airport from the UK. We enjoy the partnership with Emirates Airlines and BA. So all travelers out of the UK do reach to Ras Al Khaimah via Dubai Airport.
Fantastic. So coming back to ANTOR and us celebrating our 70th anniversary, which is quite an achievement for any association. You are a more relatively new member, bearing in mind your tourism development. What sort of benefits do you feel that you have received from the association since you have been members?
Well, being a member of ANTOR community means working together to support the traveling public and the travel industry. ANTOR provides a forum for its members to meet and exchange ideas together, experiences, case studies, and so on. The association, I mean, congratulations on the 70th years, but the association is well recognized as one of the famous advocates for responsible tourism, and this fits quite well with Ras Al Khaimah strategy. Our aim is to develop the destination, but responsibly. We want to maintain our positioning as known to be the nature emirate in the United Arab Emirates, and developing it responsibly, a balanced tourism. This is an initiative that we have launched 2 days ago, on the first day of the Arabian travel market in Dubai, how we're planning to develop, but sustainably develop.
That's fantastic. And of course, sustainably also means staying longer, because we've got to think about the length of the flight and how we can offset that, which can only be good news for the destination if people decide to stay longer with you. And so how's your structure being developed? Because again, Ras Al Khaimah is quite a relatively new destination for tourism. What is the authority's structure like? Is it a big structure? Small?
Yeah, I mean, you're right. I mean, Ras Al Khaimah is known to be the fastest developing destination in the region, in the Middle East region. And the structure of Ras Al Khaimah Tourism Development Authority, or the responsibilities of our authority, is definitely licensing, enhanced deliverability of the emirate, promoting it as a destination in all markets that we target. And what's really very important for us is a balance between the development that we wish or intend to do, and maintaining the nature and the sustainability of the emirate or the destination that we intend to keep and even go on that. We've partnered with Earth Checks, the leaders of sustainability, to support us in terms of reaching on in 2025 to be the first sustainable city in our region.
Wow, that's exciting. And so, what do you have to do to achieve that? What are your targets?
Well, look, I tell you, there are a lot of things that should be done, but sustainability is something that we do every day. I mean, sustainability is a buzzword, you know that, but it's not limited to recycling. It's not limited to food waste management. It's not limited to reducing plastic. No, we go beyond with that. Our plans with sustainability in terms of a destination and not in terms of a brand or a hotel. Hotels were doing that for a long time, but now we took it to a destination level. How we sustain our cultural sites, the adventure projects that we have up there on Jabal Jais, the highest peak in the UAE and the home of the longest zip line and the highest restaurant in the UAE, and so many other activities. Everything up there is built in a sustainable manner, from the material used to the solar systems, to so many things. So the plan now is to take the responsibility on an emirate level rather than on a hotel or brand or attraction level.
That's very exciting, and I'm guessing that includes a lot of the engagement of the local population in the industry, which is absolutely key to every country. And of course, the other side of sustainability is regenerative tourism, or not leaving a footprint, allowing every tourist to give back and leave the country in a better place, rather than taking a little bit away with it and destroying it. So
that's so.
Is important, and there's a lot of volunteerism that's going around that type of initiative. Is that something that you're picking up on as well?
Yes, we're working with our stakeholders, closely with our stakeholders and partners and airlines as well, whenever it's possible. We did launch a sustainable pledge last year, late last year, when we hosted the Global Citizen Forum in Ras Al Khaimah, and we had all our partners signing on a pledge committing to a sustainable future in Ras Al Khaimah. So we work very closely with all the stakeholders in Ras Al Khaimah and outside Ras Al Khaimah when possible.
That's fantastic. And I'm sure the children in the country are also being educated at school, right from the grassroots, right from the beginning, about the importance of tourism and the importance of sustainability.
Of course. I mean, we do work closely with universities, with schools in Ras Al Khaimah. We do involve them in our initiatives. We try also to educate them on the future, how the destination or the emirate should look like. At the end of the day, they are the future of the emirate, and we work really closely with the entities involved in this.
That's fantastic. And so how long have you been involved in the industry, and in fact working for Ras Al Khaimah?
In the industry, look, I'm not that old, but in the industry, 23 years. in Ras Al Khaimah, 4 years and a half. 4 years and a half.
Are you originally from there?
No, actually no, but I've been living here for a long time. My kids were born in the UAE, but I'm originally from Lebanon.
Oh, lovely. Great. Another beautiful country.
Thank you.
And so what changes have you witnessed during the time that you've been involved in the tourism industry?
In the tourism industry in general, or in Ras Al Khaimah?
In general, yeah.
In general, look, I mean, I've started my career in one of the well-known DMCs in Dubai in 1998. And we've seen the development of UAE in general, Dubai back then in particular. There were so many challenges back then, how to promote, position the country and Dubai. And obstacles are always there, especially in our industry. Normally, we're a very fragile industry. Whenever anything happens in the region or internationally, it affects us. I mean, back then with the Iraq war, with September 11, with the economic crisis, and many, many more, to the pandemic now, and what's happening as well in East Europe. So our industry is quite fragile, but I should say it's a resilience industry as well. We intend always to come back and even stronger. Yeah, I mean, I've seen a lot in terms of tourism in this region, in this part of the world, and in Ras Al Khaimah. I mean, for the last decade, we've been promoting and positioning Ras Al Khaimah as a developing destination. We have a lot, of course, to do, but I believe we are on the right track. We wanted to be different. And this is the beauty of the United Arab Emirates. The 7 Emirates are quite different in their offerings and products. We complement each other and we don't compete. So what other Emirates has to offer, Ras Al Khaimah has something different, and vice versa. So visiting Dubai does not mean that you're done with the UAE. No, you should visit Ras Al Khaimah, Abu Dhabi, and the rest of the Emirates. So this is the beauty of the UAE.
So tell me, what makes Ras Al Khaimah different? What are your kind of unique aspects as a
Well, look, as I said earlier, I mean, this is how Ras Al Khaimah is known to be now, as a nature emirate. It's all about nature. We're blessed with our natural resources, from the highest mountain in the UAE, Jebel Jais, an altitude of 1,934 meters above sea level. The home of the longest zip line in the world, the highest restaurant in the UAE, and many, many more other activities. From the sky to 6 zip lines takes you to 7 different platforms. Jais Ladder, it's a toboggan ride, a Jais coaster up the Burgil's Explorer Camp. It's his first explorer camp in the Middle East. 50 kilometers of hiking trails, paragliding. I mean, it's an adventure destination within the destination. A beautiful, vast desert with beautiful resorts within the desert, like Ritz-Carlton Al Wadi, and many other activities in the desert, and 64 kilometers of clean, natural beaches. And this what differentiate Ras Al Khaimah from neighboring destinations. Most of our hotels are on the beach, the resorts, and are very spacious, great landscape. I mean, one of our properties, which is the Hilton Resort, has the longest private beach in the UAE, 1.5 kilometer of beach. And this is what you get in Ras Al Khaimah. You get resorts, spacious resorts. It's less congested, less crowded. And this what makes us a bit different. And nowadays, yes, hopefully we are out of the pandemic, but we're still within, and the pandemic taught us new habits, like, we don't want to be in a crowded place. We avoid crowds. Ras Al Khaimah is less populated, less crowded. Our hotels, I mean, another example, the DoubleTree by Hilton, it's a 723 rooms, but you're looking at 9 pools. You're looking at a very long beach. So even if the hotel is running on a very high occupancy, you still enjoy your time with what we call nowadays the social distancing. So this what makes Ras Al Khaimah different.
And talking about COVID and coming out of COVID, I think we're all going to put that one behind us and work on the basis that we've done with that one. Thank you, and we don't want to see it again. But it reflects the 2 years about the importance of wildlife. I don't know about Ras Al Khaimah, but one thing we've all noticed in London and even in Surrey, where I live, is the bird song. The bird song is more evident, and it's there. You can hear the birds singing more than you ever did before, and you're more aware of them, because for a year there was no other noise. There was no other noise. All you could hear is the birds. Is that the same, Ras Al Khaimah? Have you started rediscovering your wildlife? Has your wildlife come back? And we've got butterflies have come back. There's a lot of in small wildlife that you don't necessarily notice every day of your life when you're running the normal rat race, that everyone's become very aware of.
Well, look, I mean, again, in cities, in busy cities, you will notice that, of course. But in Ras Al Khaimah, there was not a big difference, to be honest. Again, why? Because Ras Al Khaimah is the fourth largest emirate in the UAE, but it has a population of only 400,000 people living here. So it's less crowded. It's not polluted. The wildlife have been there always. So regardless whether during the post-pandemic or during pandemic, they have a better chance to live. No, it was always the case in Ras Al Khaimah. Nature, of course. I mean, I remember during the pandemic, we had a lot of people out of other emirates coming to Ras Al Khaimah to enjoy the nature, because if the pandemic have done anything good, is that it made people consider nature and maybe change a bit of their habits towards nature. This is what we've really experienced in Ras Al Khaimah during the pandemic, that everyone was out in Ras Al Khaimah just to discover the nature and be in nature.
And I suspect your neighbours got to know you better than they had known before. Did you find that there was more of a sort of regional boost in your tourism and business?
Well, look, I mean, Ras Al Khaimah was always popular in the UAE as a staycation, as a getaway, if you wish, for a weekend, or if you get a long weekends. That was a good source of revenue to the destination during the pandemic. So if you look at our decline in 2020, it was 28% only, compared to the average decline reported by UNWTO, which was 74%. So we've done quite well in 2020 because of course, our domestic market and the markets that opened up in September, October that year. In 2021, our decline went down to 12% only. And hopefully this year we're looking, our target is to go back to our 2019 numbers by receiving 1.1 million tourists.
Wow, gosh, that's a big number of tourists. But as you say, they've got a lot of space for them, so they won't feel they're on top of each other. And I'm guessing that the UK, European, and American visitors are all amongst those tourists and beginning to come back.
Yes, I mean, UK is one of our source markets. It's one of our top 3 markets. They've been away for almost a year and a half due to the travel restrictions, of course. Q1 this year, we've seen them coming in numbers, and which is great. UK travelers do appreciate Ras Al Khaimah, again, for what Ras Al Khaimah has to offer, and being a less crowded destination. I mean, you live in London and you don't want to go to another city, right? You want to go and enjoy the beach, enjoy what the destination has to offer. So UK is a very important market for us. We are developing our presence in the States, or North America, if you wish. It's picking up, but for us, it's an emerging market.
Yeah, absolutely. And what are your plans and your visions for the future as the executive director of this organization? What's your vision for the future?
Look, my vision, and of course it's the authority vision, it's to develop, of course, the destination. Our ambition is to reach 3 million tourists in 2030. But reaching in a sustainable way, as I've explained earlier, we are developing the destination in terms of new hotels that are coming up. I mean, this year only we had 2,000 additional rooms. The biggest Hampton in the world opened up in July last year, 515 rooms. All sea view rooms, beautifully located on the beach, 750 meters of beach. So this is a great product. a 4-star resort on the beach, another 4-star resort by Radisson that opened end of last year. Intercontinental Hotel opened in February this year as well on Hayat Island, and we're expecting the Movenpick in 1 month or 2 months from today. So the destination is developing, but developing in a very sustainable way, and we're expecting more rooms to come up in the destination. So the development is there, yes, but as I said earlier, we make sure that we balance our ambitions, our plans, our development, and to maintain our natural assets, the nature. This is our natural assets, and avoid and keep over tourism away from the destination. We don't want over tourism. I mean, so many destinations lost its positioning because of the over tourism.
Absolutely, and that's a great vision to have, Iyad, and I'm sure you're going to achieve it. So I look forward to speaking to you in a few years' time to hear about your 3 million visitors. I don't know if you want to add anything, if you'd like to tell us anything more about Ras Al Khaimah that we haven't touched upon. Is there anything, any new events coming up, or new museums or attractions, or anything that you'd like to?
Look, Ras Al Khaimah, we in last year, exactly last year, during the Arabian travel market in Dubai in 2021, we've launched a capital investment of $500 million, which is around 100 million pounds, in 20 sustainable projects in Ras Al Khaimah. 50% of them been already delivered, and the rest through this year, all sustainable projects on Jebel Jais in the desert and in the city. Investing this amount of money in a pandemic year, if it shows how much the government of Ras Al Khaimah takes tourism as an important industry and an important segment of the economy. We are also enhancing all our cultural sites. Ras Al Khaimah is rich in culture and heritage. Our history goes back to 7,000 years. We have beautiful sites to visit in Ras Al Khaimah, to discover, the history of this part of the world. 4 of our cultural sites are on the UNESCO tentative list of culture and heritage. So we have a lot as well, apart from the beautiful hotels, the adventure activities for tourists to explore in Ras Al Khaimah when it comes to culture and heritage. The authentic restaurants, the authentic venues and places that could be visited by any tourist and definitely appreciated. I mean, in my job, I travel a lot. Wherever I go, I want to eat their food. I want to visit their venue, and this is what Ras Al Khaimah has to offer. Of course, we have the beautiful fine dining restaurants within our hotels or outside, but there are so many hidden restaurants that you go and really enjoy your food and time and explore the habits and the culture of this region.
Well, you've certainly convinced me. I know Oman very well, and I have been to Dubai, and you've definitely convinced me that you're going right at the top of my bucket list, and I'm sure you've convinced our audience and listeners too. So
I'm glad I did.
Yeah, thank you very much, and have a great rest of your day. And as I said, I'm sure you've convinced everybody that the next place to come is Ras Al Khaimah. Thank you very much, Iyad.
Thank you, Alison. Thank you.